My name is Dani Callahan, and I am a junior at UNC studying global studies and history, and I am also an undergraduate research fellow with the Community Histories Workshop. I got into this line of work by taking a class with Professor Robert Allen called Family and Social Change in America my freshman year here. It was about essentially genealogical research. So we got to focus on our own families primarily. Our final project was a presentation about our own family history, but we also did a lot of work with the Digital Innovations Lab's Digital Lorry project for the Lorry Mill in Gastonia. So along with my own family research, I got to do a lot of research for families who were living in the Lorry Mill village, and that was really my first introduction to this kind of work. My favorite project that I've done so far was actually for the Charlotte 1911 project that was documenting Charlotte through the census and city directories of that time. I got to do a lot of in-depth research about people who were in the 1911 Charlotte city directory and stumbled across the Alexander family, and the patriarch, Zachariah Alexander, was actually born into nothing and managed to go to school and become a life insurance salesman, which was a common profession for African American men at the time. And through that work, he managed to actually found his own undertaking business and a funeral home. And the entire family was involved in the daily management of the funeral home. And so it was really interesting for me because through various newspaper articles and things written about him, I managed to find out that he was incredibly involved in the civil rights movement in Charlotte before the 1960s as like a personal advocate, but then his children also became important public figures in the actual implementation of those civil rights acts. So one of his sons was the first black city councilman that Charlotte had had in the 20th century. Another one managed to become, I believe, the president of Charlotte's NAACP chapter. And so it was really interesting to get to see these stories of people who were so involved in a important social movement in in a city that I'm very familiar with, but whose story had not been told before. I'm really interested in digital humanities because I didn't think that it was a field that was accessible to me as an undergraduate student, and the fact that I can do that kind of research in addition to my education is incredibly great for me. I really like doing this kind of individual research on various people. One of the main reasons I'm a history major is because I think it's important that everybody's story gets to be told, and I think that the research in digital humanities has been one of the best ways for me to kind of get into doing what it is that I actually want to do with my education.